Before Genesis. What existed before the beginning? You've probably been told the story starts within the beginning. But what if that's not the actual beginning? Long before the opening line of Genesis echoed through human history, before time, space, or matter came into being, something else, something far older, was already unfolding. While scripture whispers hints, ancient writings shout, and scholars still wrestle with the implications. Today, we're venturing into a realm that precedes creation, a reality that may shift everything you thought you knew about the origins of existence. Ready to journey into the unknown? Subscribe and prepare to explore the cosmic depths most readers overlook. Genesis isn't the first word. The opening of the Bible, Genesis 1 verse 1, famously states, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It's iconic, a foundational statement introducing the divine act of creation. To many, this marks the absolute start, a formless void, and a command from God, "Let there be light." But that line raises a profound question. What was there before that moment? The text doesn't give us a clear answer. Was it silence? Was there raw energy? Or perhaps something completely alien to human thought? This pre-creation period has sparked centuries of debate. While Genesis 1 verse 1 is often treated as the definitive beginning, hints scattered throughout scripture and in external ancient sources suggest something was already in motion. This murky space before time has been labeled by scholars as the pre-creation state. And although the Bible doesn't expand on it in detail, it leaves behind a breadcrumb trail, clues hidden in poetic language, ancient metaphors, and cross-cultural echoes that we can follow. Ancient myths and a radical text. To understand Genesis in context, we must first step into the ancient world. In regions like Mesopotamia, Egypt, and Canaan, creation myths often began not with order, but with disorder. Chaos was the status quo. Take the Babylonian Enuma Elish, for instance, a mythic epic where the god Marduk defeats the chaotic sea goddess Tiamat to bring about the cosmos. These stories feature divine battles, turbulent waters, and the taming of primal forces before structured reality could exist. Against this backdrop, Genesis reads like a revolution. It introduces not many gods, but one sovereign creator. Instead of war, there is command. Instead of struggle, there is intention. And yet, Genesis 1 verse 2 raises a flag. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Formless, void, darkness, waters. Where did these elements come from? They exist before the first day of creation. The Hebrew words used, tohu v'ebohu, carry connotations of chaotic potential, and the term, the deep, Tihom, bears a striking resemblance to Tiamat. Coincidence? Many scholars don't think so. Genesis may be countering the older myths, not ignoring them, by presenting God as sovereign over chaos, not battling it. The text subtly reclaims the narrative, but that doesn't erase the deeper mystery. These waters and this darkness were already there. Wisdom before worlds. To push further back, we shift to Proverbs 8 verses 22 to 31, a passage often overlooked when discussing creation. Here, wisdom is personified, speaking as a companion of God. The Lord brought me forth as the first of his works, before the world began. I was there when he set the heavens in place. This poetic section paints a breathtaking image of wisdom, not as an abstract concept, but as a presence alongside God before the earth was formed. Some interpret this as metaphor. Others see more. In Jewish tradition, wisdom is closely tied to the Torah, God's eternal instruction. In Christian theology, many identify this figure with Christ, the Word made flesh. And speaking of the Word, enter John 1, the pre-existing Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Gospel of John mirrors Genesis, but adds new dimension. The Greek word logos, translated as word, implies divine reason or purpose. It's not merely an utterance, but an eternal principle. And John declares that this logos was Jesus, existing before time, co-equal with God, and instrumental in creation. Suddenly, we're not just talking about a lone creator, but a triune community, Father, Son, and spirit in perfect harmony before anything else existed. There's no chaos here, no silence, just a divine relationship full of life, beauty, and purpose. Beyond the canon, hidden texts and heavenly beings. To further explore what might have existed before the world began, we can turn to ancient Jewish texts not included in the biblical canon. Take the Book of Enoch, for instance, an apocalyptic work from the Second Temple period, referenced in the New Testament book of Jude. It describes a celestial realm brimming with angelic beings, heavenly watchers, and divine councils, all operating before the human narrative begins. The Dead Sea Scrolls contain similar hints. One text, known as the War Scroll, lays out a cosmic battle plan involving angelic armies, again, predating human creation. Were these writings imaginative theology or recollections of deeper truths? Some theologians accept these as symbolic. Others suggest they preserve older traditions that the Bible quietly echoes. Let's re-examine the key texts. To fully grasp this pre-Genesis reality, let's revisit the critical verses with fresh eyes. Genesis 1 verses 1-2. Some scholars argue the Hebrew could be translated, "When God began to create the heavens and the earth," implying an ongoing process rather than a single starting point. Verse 2's description of formlessness and voidness has inspired debate for centuries. Philo of Alexandria, 1st century AD, saw this as shapeless matter that God would soon shape. Augustine believed the text was symbolic, and that time itself started with creation. So talking about before may be meaningless in human terms. Proverbs 8. The depiction of wisdom as a pre-existing force continues to fascinate. While Jewish interpretations connect her to the Torah, Christian scholars often see a precursor to Christ. Interestingly, this aligns with ancient Eastern traditions where order is personified by female deities, suggesting Proverbs may have been both affirming and challenging its cultural surroundings. John 1. John is clear. The word, Jesus, wasn't just present. It was the mechanism through which everything was made. This isn't passive existence. It's divine action. The Logos wasn't shaped by creation. It shaped it. Job 38 verses 4-7. Here, God challenges Job with vivid imagery. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? When the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy? Who are these sons of God? Likely angelic beings, rejoicing as creation unfolds. Their presence suggests a celestial audience, possibly participants in a divine drama long before humanity's entrance. So why does it matter? This exploration isn't just theological trivia. It has profound implications. If God existed as Father, Son, and Spirit before time, then creation was not born out of loneliness or need, but out of overflowing love and intentionality. That reshapes how we view our place in the universe, not as an afterthought, but as part of a divine plan that predates space and time. Many imagine the pre-creation state as a void or a battlefield. That's more aligned with Babylonian myth than biblical theology. Scripture presents a God in total control. No rival chaos he must defeat, no competing deity to outmatch. And yet, the mystery remains. Were angelic councils convened before the cosmos? Was there a celestial rebellion before Adam drew breath? The Bible leaves these questions open, but ancient traditions and texts like Enoch keep the speculation alive. What does eternity past say about eternity future? In early Christianity, debates over the nature of creation were heated. Gnostics proposed that a flawed demiurge created the material world, a belief firmly rejected by the church. Today, the stakes are different. It's less about orthodoxy and more about wonder. When we ask what came before the beginning, we're really asking, what kind of God made all this? What does his eternal nature reveal about our ultimate destiny? If there was joy, relationship, and beauty before the world, then perhaps eternity future mirrors eternity past. Final thoughts. The story doesn't start with Genesis 1 verse 1. That verse is a door. Behind it lies a mystery, the divine reality before the dawn of time. Maybe it's wisdom dancing in eternity. Maybe it's the word already speaking. Maybe it's angels watching in awe. Or maybe it's all of that, and more. What we know is this. Before your story began, God already was. Complete. Glorious. overflowing with purpose. So what's your take? Were angels already singing before the stars ignited? Is Tehom a clue to ancient chaos or a poetic mystery? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your theories. And if you're as fascinated by these hidden corners of scripture as we are, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is just the beginning. There's a lot more to uncover. Until next time, keep digging, keep questioning, and let's discover the deeper story together.